playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's Raheem Mostert, the local product from right here in Florida. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. And, CD, you look at this defense, what kind of pressure are they under trying to stop a team that has won 5 games in a row?
Well, to me, it makes their job harder because you know you're going up against an offense that's playing at an elite level. And sometimes you can get too caught up in trying to play the perfect game. You're trying to be too precise, too fine, instead of just letting it rip. And I think that's more the priority than trying to be absolutely perfect.
On play action, Rodgers. He completes it to Hunter. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now the first carry here for the running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
You look at this defense for Tampa Bay.
They're a top 5 unit right now against the pass in the league. In fact, they sit at number 5.
And I think with as good as their coverage is, and they're also excellent tacklers, they try to keep things in front of them and either make the tackle or you have to run out of bounds because there's nowhere to go. They'll let them dink and dunk all day long.
Here's Rodgers to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Rodgers.
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line.
They'll stay on the ground with Mostert. And a nice run. They're going to take this close to the first down marker at the Bucs 26.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
And this will be play number 8 of the opening drive. It's 3rd and short. They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Into the red zone. It's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. On 2nd down, Mostert. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice, dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. Here's a give to Bigsby. And he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. Now Rodgers. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Jags come up empty on 4th down. And on the opening drive of the afternoon, the defense forces a turnover on downs. Now Mayfield and the Bucs come up on 1st and 10 at their own 18. First carry for Nick Chubb. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. 2nd down and a little more than a yard here. Throwing, Mayfield. The pass is caught by Cade Otton. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Second quarter now in Tampa Bay. It's the Buccaneers in control of the football. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a 2nd down and 4. Here's Mayfield. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Foyesade Oluokun charges in there hard and drops him for a loss of 12 from that outside linebacker position. How to approach this. 3rd down and 16 yards to go. Mayfield looks to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
A very early momentum changer there. Actually a dream killer for the defense because they forced a 3rd down. Felt like they had a good chance to get off the field defensively, and then they got hit with that big play.
Flushed out right. This is caught by Evans. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Here we go now on 1st and goal. Chubb is not going to get in here as they push him back to the 2-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Chubb again, and he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Nick Chubb with his 14th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Buccaneers post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they come into this one riding that nice long win streak. And remember, next weekend is an open week. Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted. Picked up by Jamel Dean. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick 6.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, a PAT, or a field goal. In case of a defense, they want to end with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Sitting in first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
Throwing now is Rodgers. A short throw there to Strange. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be 2nd down. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And this will be a Jaguars first down as he'll get this up to about the 42.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. On play action, it's Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just get rid of it.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
2nd and 10. Now Rodgers. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. Down the sideline he goes. Touchdown. Brian Thomas with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Jaguars are back within a score. Now the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. Now this is going to be returned from the back line of the end zone. And shoving his way inside the 35. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times it's just in a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, you got to like what they're doing. They have put distance between themselves and their opponent.
Looking to add on here in the second quarter.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
On third down, Mayfield. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Mayfield now. This ball complete to Trey Palmer. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. They go play action. Mayfield. And this is caught by Evans. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. A very solid gain of 27. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
Flush to his right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
Boy, that was lockdown coverage there. He's scanning for someone to come open. But that was great work to blanket everyone. And in the end, he's just got to throw it away.
So they're coming up here on the 9th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and goal. Now Mayfield. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
And his kick is indeed good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up past the 40-yard line.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
A final shot before half for Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. A 10-point game, 17-7 the score as we get back to it on EA Sports. That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Across midfield. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Not the way you envision things to start out the third quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new script going for the second half, not just the one that he operated off of to start the game. Nowhere on that script did it have that result.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers looking for the end zone. And oh, it'll be intercepted. And the Buccaneers will take over here at their own 14-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here, maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Second down and a yard. Evans comes in motion right. Mayfield on play action. Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, third quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
54 mark. Check, block 54, block 54. Right. Check 52. Hey, flag. Rush in.
Throwing is Rodgers. Thomas brings it in. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Here's Mostert. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
this is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
Again, it's Mostert, but he will go backwards as he's stopped for a loss.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
He's going to be marked down very close to the 1st down marker, but it looks like he's a yard short.
They'll try it now with Mostert.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Raheem Mostert
taking it in from a yard out.
And the Jaguars' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
Still enjoying the lead here in the 3rd quarter, despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive.
Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
So from the 26-yard line, here's 2nd down and 5.
Mayfield to throw it. And a catch right side by Evans. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They give the Chubb out of the gun. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
This is 2nd and 8.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. He's got Otten. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. And that's really good.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Trey Palmer,
31 yards.
And the Bucs will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
The 2nd and 10 now as we roll along in the 3rd quarter from Tampa.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field. Yeah. Mike, fight forward. You don't want none. Pick up the ball. Right there. 54. Right now. You got 58. Let's make these babies cry all the way back.
Rodgers going to throw. And he comes back with one complete.
Down the right sideline. He may go.
And down to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Here's Rodgers.
That's complete to Mostert out of the backfield.
And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Oh, they go with a tight end carry. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown.
His 3rd rushing touchdown on the year, his 5th overall. And the Jaguars have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
Extra point right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started.
Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start.
Oh, what a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple. And Chubb will try the middle here. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
And this is exactly what you're looking to do offensively. If you can start stringing some runs together like this, you'll keep churning out 1st downs, and that's going to put you in a great position to carry this one home.
And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
26 Mike.
2nd down, Mayfield.
Got a man downfield, it's Otten.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Give him 32 on the play.
Let's just call it as we just saw it right there, a breakdown defensively. Seems like no one went with the tight end, and no one really did. Had all sorts of space in the middle of the field. Yeah, everyone else was covered, but he was not. Big play results.
From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
And that is incomplete.
Just because you've got the lead in the 4th, it doesn't mean you have to play it safe. I like the aggressive play call there to push it downfield. That time, it didn't work out.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. And that is incomplete.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to swell the lead to 6. And this one is right through. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. He finds his man complete. That's Hunter. And he's taken down right away at the 39-yard line. It's another first down as they bite off 23 more on that one. Rodgers now to throw. On the out route, he's got Mostert. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. Flushed out right. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
Now Rodgers.
He'll swing this out to Mostert.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down.
Mostert is in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. So they brought the extra bulk in down on the 1-yard line, and they're able to push this one across.
Yeah, I can just see your face right now because I know we're mind melding on this one. Coach Madden would love this. Power football, hat on a hat, chest to chest, driving forward, touchdown.
Important extra point up and through, and that is going to put them on top by a point, and it sets us up for quite a finish.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And not what he was hoping for when he brought it out. They're going to get him down short of the 15-yard line. This is 1st and 10.
They begin this drive with Chubb. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Now Mayfield. That's complete to Otten. And he is going to get out of bounds with the first down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and we watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
2nd and 7. Mayfield to throw. That's caught by Palmer.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now. Mayfield.
Dancing to his left. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Here's Baker.
And this one's incomplete. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Mayfield.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 39. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game.
Here's 1st and 10.
Mayfield to throw.
Quick throw, finding Mike Evans.
And he's taken down inside the 30. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Well, this offense still has the 1 timeout here, remember. 1st and 10. Now Mayfield.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
And now this game's going to come down to the right leg of their kicker. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. So on is their kicker, and it's down to this. This from long, very long range. And this kick is not gonna get there. It's short and no good. And that'll keep this a 1-point game.
Yeah, Brandon, that's a tough distance with the game on the line because you'd like to give your kicker better odds than that. Anything 50-plus, we know it's going to be difficult. And that one proved to be just a little too difficult. And now it appears it's going to cost him the football game.
Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all.